is Michaela, and today we will be talking about palliative measures in ALS. Things that patients can do when they have ALS is physical therapy, so that way their muscles do not atrophy, and this can be done by nurses. And other things are communication alternatives, such as Stephen Hawking's computer that he uses to do lectures. And this would help whenever your voice gives out, because usually that is the first thing that goes out in ALS. There's breathing devices, because a lot of ALS patients have nocturnal hypoventilation problems, and this is the carbon dioxide buildup because they can't breathe out because the respiratory muscles pretty much just give out. We also have feeding devices, and these would help since the patient might not be able to eat properly. And these are usually implemented early on when the symptoms are first showing rather than later, so that way the patient is more, they know what they're getting into and they know their options, and it's just comfortable for them to have now. And this was all by Volts and Borisa. And I'd like to show you this video on ALS and the palliative measures that can be taken by Craig, 2010. It shows Barry Winovich's life because he has ALS and he lives with it. And he has a nurse that goes in and helps him do all these kinds of stuff, and it kind of gives you a good idea of these palliative measures. So we'll look at that real quick.
It's hard. I mean, obviously it's hard. It's hard to believe. I mean, at 44, that he is just laying here like this, but there's nothing we can do. It is what it is, so you just go on with it. When he was first diagnosed, somebody had said, you either have to start living or start dying. And, you know, we've now dealt with this for 5 years, so he chose the start living path. So.
Morning. It's a pleasure. I enjoy working with Mr. Winovich. Great attitude. It makes a big difference. Something really rather be doing myself. The first thing that I started, he felt bad that he needed to keep asking me every little thing, and I just tried to reassure him that it's a pleasure and you don't need to apologize.
The way ALS affects your body, it doesn't affect your mind, so his mind is just the same as it was 4 years ago.
Riluzole is also a medication that can be used during ALS. And what this drug does is it prolongates life by about 3 to 5 months, or 2 to 3 months, really. And that's about the survival rate. What Riluzole does is it blocks the sodium channels in these ALS nerves, these muscle nerves that give out the sodium, because your brain is still operating, and it will take all the signals and it'll bring it down to your muscles, but your muscles can't respond. So if the sodium continues, your muscles can get toxic. It'll get the nerves toxic around them. So Riluzole really helps to block these sodium channels so it doesn't get even more toxic than it already is. And this was found out by Gerhigs S. and Shin-Yi Lin that did a good article on Riluzole and its effects. Now, unfortunately, there's no cure for ALS, and death usually occurs within 3 to 5 years of diagnosis. So most of these measures taken are palliative, and we don't have a cure for it right now, but there are people that are looking for a cure for ALS. And this brings me to the ALS Association. The ALS Association, what it really does is to help raise awareness for ALS, first and foremost, and it also does raise money to find a cure for ALS, essentially. And one of the big fundraisers that the ALS Association, or ALSA.com, has done is the Ice Bucket Challenge. And this raised more than $15.5 million in the month of August, and compared to about $1.6 million over the same, over like the whole year. So that's a real big difference, and it's helped a lot more than probably anybody would have ever guessed. And it's just become a very viral video, and everybody's been kind of showing, and that's where you saw probably in the beginning where Eli showed us the ice bucket challenge. Now, this was all found out by Colt Now, and he did a real good article on these numbers and everything. And some things that you can do yourself to help raise ALS awareness, or is to do something like this ice bucket challenge, or you can even just go and donate to alsaid.org. And there's just a lot of things right now that we can do, and there's not a lot we know though right now of ALS, so it's good to know what you can and just keep hoping and keep trying to raise awareness and fundraise to help that way, so we have a cure for ALS, just like we might have a cure someday for cancer. So that's all pretty good, and that's about it. Thank you.